Welcome back to Unapologetic Progressive. Thank you for joining me. Now, a few weeks ago, I covered Trump's big, beautiful bill, or as I refer to it as the big bogus bill, brought to you by the MAGA Nazis over there in the U.S. House, trying to get the MAGA Nazis over in the Senate to pass it, right? Well, right now, they're not. It's not looking too good for the bill as is to pass the Senate. I don't think that they're going to have the votes. As of right now, there appear to be 4 Republicans that are balking at passing it, which would be just enough to scuttle the bill, and they'd have to go back to the drawing board, basically. But tucked away in that bill, along with all the other cuts to transgender care, um, health care for, women, minorities, things like that, and other cuts, and the fact that it allows Donald Trump to ignore the federal courts, including the Supreme Court, for a year or more, depending on what he sees fit, which would allow him to deport any American he chooses and allow him to shut down any election he chooses. There's this little nugget buried in the bill that a lot of people aren't talking about. And it's a provision when it discusses food stamps. Now, this has been fact checked by Snopes and their website. They're long time, well known um, fact checking website, and they fact checked that this is actually in the bill that the threshold for being able to count somebody as a dependent when filing for food stamps would change. Now, normally, you can count anybody under the age of 18 that lives in your household as a dependent in order, to secure proper amount of money to help feed your family, right? Everybody 17 and under would count as a dependent, and they could provide, so the state and federal government could provide food assistance to that family for those children. They want to make it now in this bill to where it's 7 years old is the threshold. So the children from 8 to 17 would not be counted as dependents for food stamps. Therefore, people's food stamp allotments would drop considerably. Now, I understand we want to talk about, saving money for the federal government and all that stuff, saving taxpayers' money. But let's be clear. For the average taxpayer who actually pays taxes, each one of those taxpayers might pay $1.60, maybe a little higher, as high as $1.70 in taxes to cover the food stamp program. Think about that. While they're doing all this other stuff, making tax cuts for billionaires permanent, putting a sunset on the supposed no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, even though there's not really no tax on tips and no tax on overtime because they're still charging you for that. But on the backs of the poor and the working class who are having a hard time putting food on the table for their children at a time when American politicians are demanding that people have more children, they are going to cut funding to feed those children. But they're going to do it without actually making a cut. What they're going to do is make sure you can't feed your children. So what? Are the children from 8 to 17 supposed to just starve? Is that what's supposed to happen? What if a family member, what if the parent is a single parent who can't work? And they have, like, say 4 children, 2 of them under the age of 7 and 2 of them over the age of 7. How are they supposed to feed those children, all 4 of those children, with just enough money to feed 2 children? Explain that to me. Explain to me how in any universe, how this makes any sense to anybody. There's a reason conservatives in the Senate are balking at this bill. Why? Because it's going to kill their constituents. And what happens when you kill your constituents? Yeah, you lose your job. And they're scared that they're going to lose their job. Recently, because of this bill, Joni Ernst was asked some questions. She's I believe, senator from Iowa. Um, she was asked, by one of her constituents at a town hall meeting was like, "This is going to kill people. These changes to food stamps and stuff are going to kill people, and to healthcare are going to kill people." And her response was, "Well, we're all going to die." How American of her. How freaking American of her. To sit there and tell her constituents, "Well, we're all going to die, so it doesn't matter if you feed them. It doesn't matter if they have health care. Just let them die," is her belief. And that is the slogan for the Republican Party. They may not say it out loud, but that's their belief. That is their slogan. If you are poor or working class, you can just die. They don't care. Once again, socialism for the rich, capitalism for the poor. Now, I hate making these videos. I'm tired of constantly having bad news to share. I hardly ever get to share any good news because there isn't any most of the time anymore. And it's devastating to me. I started this channel 10 years ago in hopes to better the world, better the people that came across the videos, put some positivity out there, and to help people, get along who were having struggles in life. And I've done my best for 10 years. And I'll continue to do my best. But it's hard to have positive videos when all the news is like this. Every week, I try to find good news. Good news that pertains to the topics on this channel. And I don't find them anywhere. We're dealing with Republicans that want Americans to just die. We have Republicans down in Georgia that won't let a woman die. She's been on life support for months, completely brain dead, just to incubate a baby. Where's the good news? It's like the world's just gone to hell in a handbasket and nobody cares. Now, we'll get through all this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We will get there. So as down as I feel right now, don't let it bring you down too long. We just have to keep fighting, keep trudging along, and we'll get to that light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to take some time. We've got 3.5 more years of this. So that said, I'm going to try to find more positive stories. Maybe with Pride Month, maybe I'll cover a few of the different Pride events that I hear about and stuff like that. We'll see. I know the West Hollywood Pride event is starting, I believe, yesterday or today, over in West Hollywood. That's the only one I've heard of as of late. I don't know why, because I live in Oklahoma. Although it'd be awesome to live in West Hollywood. It'd be great to be rich like that. Or be able to just live in California. Would be better than living in Oklahoma. But at the same time, we just got to keep fighting. That's all we can do. If you know anything that's good news that maybe I could spread around, hit me up in the comments and let me know. If not, I'll try to find some next week. Next week, I do plan to make videos Tuesday through Friday. We'll see how that goes. As long as I keep getting better, I will get back on the horse, I guess you could say. Anyhow, I do have a video coming for you on Monday. maybe a little bit of good news for people. It has to do with Elon Musk and him leaving the U.S. federal government, the reasons why, and some reasons you're not being told about. All right. Thank you for watching Unapologetic Progressive. I'll see you down the road.